All right. This is Tymon with Truth Talk with Tymon. Got the cat right here. I don't know if you can see her. She wants to be part of the video. Her name is Trixie. All right. Before I start today's subject, let's keep in our prayers the victims of the California wildfires, and all of those who are making a tireless effort to put out these fires. For all those firefighters, the Cal firefighters, for the volunteer from Mexico helping, right? The volunteers from Mexico helping to put out fires, plus the 583 felons, the Cal firefighter, programs that, the felons that help put out the fires, the guys that will watch Fire Country. But this is not Fire Country. This is not a TV show. This is real life fires, okay? So keep those people in your prayers. The lives lost. I don't know the exact number. Somewhere around 24 people. And those people that's arrested, that's breaking the curfew, that's breaking and entering and causing crime and chaos and adding to what's already going on. That just sickens me. And people like, not just Trump and Musk that spread lies, because they're spreading lies about this fire. Don't believe their lies. But actors like Mel Gibson, that's on Fox News, spreading lies and conspiracies about the fires. Don't believe that garbage. Don't believe that garbage. That's what got us in trouble. That's what got the Trump, the evil felon, the 34th time convicted felon, elected in the first place because people were believing that garbage. Trump doesn't care about you. Right? When he was out there saying, leave the dogs during the hurricanes and the floods in Florida and in the Carolinas. Well, Master Stephen's home, one of the masters that taught me Shinju Kempo, his home was in Florida. His dad's home was, and due to all the flooding and the moisture, the home actually collapsed. And of course, all those homes in North Carolina, that's what was unexpected. They all collapsed. And then people like Trump and his goons and people like Fox News spread all the lies and misinformation, saying the people wasn't going to help you and all this crap, and about the immigrants eating the dogs, right? When we had somebody that was qualified to become president, Kamala Harris would have been a great president to carry on Biden's legacy. Actually, that's what I'm talking about today, is Biden's legacy. Let's get on with that part. Man, what can I say about Biden? Holy moly. I mean, you can compare Biden to, was the stuff he did to help the blacks. I guess in a way you could compare him to Lincoln. With the stuff that he did for the climate change programs and energy programs, you can compare him to Carter for the stuff he did for the social programs and the programs to help communities. You can compare him to FDR. I mean, Biden, his accomplishments are vast. And what I have written down on this list, it's just the main things that he did. But the man, he's going to go down to me as one of the top 10 best presidents in history. And Trump is going to go down the bottom worst president in history on both of his terms, because we don't know what's coming up. You know, the tariffs, the people still don't know what a tariff is. Right? Biden's accomplishments. Okay, he came in during the COVID crisis, one of the worst crises we had in America. All right? And Trump just said, hey, I'm just going to just inject bleach and or in the summer it's just going to go away, it's just going to disappear. He was denying it. You know, he got rid of the pandemic response team that Obama had in place for things like COVID that could have been implemented immediately. It's just terrible what Trump did, right? And Biden had to come in and fix it. Fix all these terrible things that Trump did. Fix it. To try to build us back again, you know? Taking us out of the Paris Accord because he's a climate change denier. What do you think of these fires are starting for? I mean, we're getting more and more and more wildfires now because of the climate change, all right? One little spark could be a spark from a lightning, or somebody just throwing a cigarette. And there's winds that's blowing, in these unusual wind patterns that's blowing, fires are going to spread like crazy. And that's what's going on right now in California. Right? So, that's the things that Biden inherited when he came in. All this crap from Trump, the worst president we ever had, and he's going to be the second worst president we ever had, you know, because doing 2 terms, unfortunately, because people believe his lies. Anyway, I got to get off Trump. I'm going to focus on Biden. Man, I just can't stand that man. I cringe every time I see his face. I mean, oh my God. Okay. So, first thing Biden did is enact the American Rescue Plan. Of course, the American Rescue Plan was held up because Trump wanted to put his name on those checks. Okay? All right. Biden had to try to rebuild our economy. Now, Trump's lies will tell you that he had the best economy. No, he didn't. He inherited Obama's economy. But Obama's economy was still on the growth when Trump came in. When Trump taxed the rich, the economy started to tank. Biden built the economy back up. Now we have a 4.1 GDP. All right? He enacted the PACT Act to help us veterans. I'm a combat veteran, and my disability actually went up. I don't know. I'm not saying it's because of the PACT Act, but I'm saying is that Biden really cared about us veterans, you know, because his son, Bo, created the Chips and Science Act, building more chips here, so you don't have to rely on those microchips from China. Okay? Creating many, many jobs. I'll get to the job numbers in a minute. Created the Inflation Reduction Act and the Shrinkflation Act, which tie together. You know, trying to reduce the inflation. Now, gotta remember something. Inflation is worldwide. It's not just the United States. You know, it's not because of the United States. You know, I mentioned this before in videos, that the top 3 biggest oil companies, Exxon Valdez, China Petro, and a Middle Eastern company, I can't think of the name, I didn't write it down, but they control the cost of the fuel, of the barrels. All right? So, that's just an example. You know, if they want to raise that, you know, of course, prices are going to go up everywhere, the whole world, not just the U.S. Inflation is the whole world. Now, the economy, we can control. And Biden did a great job on that. Okay? Because if you look at the stock market, which most people measure from the stock market is up. Jobs are up. Alright? Yes, prices are still high, and people are feeling it. I feel it too. But don't think it's going to get any better now under Trump, who's going to enact those tariffs, which I'm going to talk about in another video. Alright? Okay, you know what the cost of prescription drugs. Okay? Don't forget, he passed the biggest bipartisan infrastructure bill in history, even bigger than Eisenhower's. $1.7 trillion infrastructure package. So think about it. Got a note written down at the bottom, I'm going to mention it now. Do not forget, 6, 8, 10 years from now, when you see a new bridge in wherever you live in, so you live in Cincinnati, say a new bridge is getting built, or you got a new road being built, or you got a new waterway being built, or a new broadband internet access site or whatever being built. Don't forget why those things are being built. Don't forget who enacted the biggest infrastructure bill in history of the United States, Joseph R. Biden. Don't give Trump the credit, because that's nothing to do with Trump. Nothing to do with Trump. So things might get done under this Trump reign, this Trump regime that's coming up, but it ain't Trump that enacted this infrastructure bill. It ain't Trump that's building into that bridge. It ain't Trump that's building into that road. It's because of Biden's infrastructure. In fact, many Republicans did not even vote for the bill. Many Republicans didn't even vote for it. You have to take the credit for it. Biden helped many HBCUs, historical black colleges and universities, helped poor communities, helping money to flow back into some of those communities. Harris also had a plan to build up more housing in many of those areas. she actually had plans. But maybe not everything would have been done that she wanted to get done, you know, because she has to go to Congress and whatnot. But she actually had plans, not concepts of a plan. Not concept of a plan. Biden also expanded on the Affordable Care Act, which people call Obamacare, but it's the Affordable Care Act. He expanded on it. Part of his infrastructure bill had an expansion to help with some of the infrastructure in Africa. He was actually one of the first presidents to visit Africa. I think, in fact, I think he was the only president to visit that region of Africa. And he was talking about the expansion in the rail line, and, you know, to bring communities together, you know, to help relations between Africa and the United States, you know. Because this is how things are done. If we don't want people to flee other countries, because this is what I'm going to get to next, is the border bill. If you don't want people to flee other countries, you help those other countries. You help the government of those other countries. You help the democracy of those other countries. You make it so people don't want to flee those countries. Right? That's how you curb the flow of you know, the migration here to the United States and the immigrants coming in. Okay? And that's exactly what Harris did. She visited so many countries. Let's have a chart. Maybe I can do a separate video on that and show you the chart. In my other notebook, I actually wrote a chart and countries that she visited and things that she did, you know, and how it's all interconnected to help build back those countries so less immigrants would come here, you know. That's how you build it. You've got to build the relations. Not just close the border completely and take an infrastructure bill. The bipartisan infrastructure bill that would have been passed, written by James Lankford and other Democrats and the other Republicans, mostly James Lankford, you know, we put every single thing that pretty much the Republicans wanted in there, including closing the border in case of emergency. Okay? We put every single thing that they wanted in there. The only thing we wanted was a path towards citizenship, DACA. You know, give the rights to the path towards the citizenship, and then they would have added more judges, right? Make the processing in 30 days instead of 90 days. Sometimes years it takes for these people to get processed. You know, we're going to streamline it. We're going to put more drug detection machines. It's certain entry points, curbing the flow of fentanyl. The bill was a beautiful bill. But Trump wanted to tank it. Why? Because he wanted to run on chaos. He wanted to run on chaos. So don't forget when you see the immigrant, you know, eating the dog, like Trump says, which is a lie. Don't forget. Yes, there is immigrant crime. There's going to be a video I'm doing on crime statistics. In fact, that's next month's video. I'm going to do two next month. It's going to be the crime statistics one, and it's going to be about Trump and tariffs and the dangers of MAGA. I got to keep repeating some of these things because, you know, I got to keep sharing the truth out there. Hence the name Truth Talk with Tymon. All right. Okay. He brought back the jobs that was lost during COVID, many of the jobs, plus an additional 2 million jobs, and an additional 800,000 manufacturing jobs. So brought back the jobs and brought in more jobs than any president. All right? Passed the biggest climate change bill pretty much, I would say, in history. Enacting on Carter's policies. Remember my video, Carter, when I was sitting in my chair over there? Carter had an energy program. He was the only president to ever put solar panels on the White House. He built on Carter's policies, but remember, Clinton built on Carter's policies, and then Obama built on his policies, and then Biden made it full circle, you know. The biggest climate change bill between the three of the presidents. So, and let's see how far that goes. Because Biden also brought us back into the Paris Accord, which Trump will probably take us out of again. All right? And like I said, one of the examples of climate change, look at the wildfires, look at the wind conditions, look at the unusual cold weather patterns and unusual warm weather patterns. It's unusually warm where I grew up at, yet we've been having some cold weather here, down here in New Mexico, down there in regions of Texas. You know, nobody used to see that before. I mean, if that ain't evidence of climate change, I don't know what to tell you guys, because then you guys must have blinders on or something, you know, right? Biden passed more social programs since FDR. He put on the first black woman Supreme Court judge, okay, Ketanji Brown Jackson. So that's an accomplishment. And he put on more federal judges, you know, lower court judges in history than any president ever has. Okay, after 6, 8 to 10 years that I already talked about in the border bill. Let me see the Langford. Trump tanked it. Okay. Now the other things going on that Biden probably won't get the credit for, even though he's the one that's been working tirelessly behind the scenes to get it done, is to try to end this war in Gaza, and to release hostages. Okay, and he's the one that's been working tirelessly to get it done. But I have a sad feeling that Trump's going to do the same thing that Reagan did to Carter. Carter worked tirelessly to get during the Iran hostage crisis, to get those hostages freed. But Reagan let the plane on the tarmac and waited until he was nominated to free them. I have a strange feeling that Trump's going to try to do the same thing just to make himself look good, because that's the type of person that Trump is. Right? Now, I mentioned two bad things between Trump and Carter. I just want to reiterate on a couple of things. Most Republican presidents, are not very truthful, have done some corrupt things in the presidency. But every single president, Democrats and Republicans both, have always followed the Constitution, have always tried to follow the law, have always tried to bring things together, have always tried to work in a bipartisan way, all until we got to Trump in the attack on our White House on January 6th. And never forget that. Never forget about January 6th, how Trump spit on our Constitution. As a veteran who took that oath twice, I will never forget that. Okay? So that's the difference between Reagan, Trump. Because like I said, the Republicans went from the party of Lincoln to the party of Reagan to the party of Trump. The party of Trump is the mega party, the evil party, the hateful party, the divisive party, the racist party. And I'm going to reiterate that more in the next video. That's all I got for you on this Truth Talk with Tymon. Take care. God bless. And stay strong in the struggle.